Welcome back to Statistics on Catalyst University. My name is Kevin Tokoph. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for future videos and notifications. In this video, I'm going to show you the theory and then ultimately how to conduct an independent student's t-test in Excel. So first, let's go over the theory behind this test. So in simplistic terms, how do you know when to use an independent t-test? Basically, you use an independent t-tests when you've got two different groups and you're measuring the same one variable for both of those. Okay? So, you're measuring the same variable on two different groups. Has to be two groups, okay, that are different. Now, in more technical terms, here's what you have. You have one independent categorical variable that has two levels or groups, okay? Group 1, Group 2. And then you have a dependent continuous variable, and in these examples here, they're bolded, the continuous variable that is dependent. All right, so let's look at these. Now remember, you're measuring the same variable on two different groups. So I'm going to measure systolic blood pressure over two different groups, an antihypertensive drug group and a placebo group. So I've got two different groups, and I'm measuring the same thing. They're both being measured on their systolic blood pressure. That's an example where if you wanted to compare the blood pressures between Group 1 and Group 2, you would do an independent t-test. Let's look at a second example. I want to measure fasting blood glucose between 1, a diabetic group, and 2, a non-diabetic group. So I've got two different groups, diabetic and non-diabetic, and I'm measuring the same variable, fasting blood glucose. That's an independent t-test right there. Third example, I want to measure quadriceps femori muscle activity, just measure a muscle activity, okay? Between Group 1, a healthy group, and Group 2, an ACL injured group. So I've got two groups there, and I'm measuring the exact same thing. So if you wanted to compare any sets of these two groups, then you would use an independent t-test to see if they are statistically different, okay? Now, independent t-test is the more complicated of the two t-tests because we also have a dependent or paired. That's relatively easy, and we're going to cover that in the next video. When you do an independent t-test, there are two cases. So we have what are called t-tests for equal variances, and we also have a t-test for unequal variances. And they're two different t-tests. And there's sometimes not that much different between the results of each, but to be technical and rigorous, you do want to use the correct one. So what you're saying is the two groups, so for example, in this case, the healthy group and the ACL injured group, those two populations, we need to see if the variances between those groups are approximately equal, or if they're too different and thus they're unequal. So what we do to do this is we run what's called an F-test, okay? So we run an F-test. The F-test is very simple, and it gives us some data. It gives us an F statistic and a critical F, and we compare the two, and that helps us determine which of the tests to use. So if we had a situation where the F statistic was greater than the critical F, that means unequal variances. If the F statistic was less than the critical F, then we use equal variances. And I'm going to show you that in just a few seconds, but I want to conclude this part of the video by saying, generally speaking, to run an independent t-test, you must have two groups and one measured variable that you're measuring on both of them. All right, let's go to the Excel file, and I'm going to show you how to conduct these tests. Welcome back to Statistics on Catalyst University. My name is Kevin Tokoph, and in this video, I will show you how to conduct an independent t-test in Excel. Two things, again, I use the Mac version of this, so Windows will differ very slightly, but it's ultimately the same. And B, if you have not downloaded the data analysis tool pack, either do that or go watch the video where I show you how to do that because you won't be able to go further unless you've downloaded that tool pack. In any case, to conduct the test, what I'm going to do is go to Data. Once I'm in Data, I'm going to go over here, usually on the right side, somewhere it'll say Data Analysis. I'll click this. It gives me a bunch of data analysis statistical tools. Towards the very bottom, there's two tests right here. One of them says t-test, 2 sample assuming equal variances, and a t-test, 2 sample assuming unequal variances. These two right here are both your independent t-tests. Now, which one to use depends on your data. And To actually determine which one of these it is, you actually have to do what's called an F-test, which I show in a different video. I'll put the link to it in the description as well. I'm just going to show you, I'll actually show you both of these, and it's pretty much the same either way. All right, so variable 1 range. What I'm going to do is delete all this stuff. And what I'm going to do is, this is my first variable. Let's just use that as group A. I'm going to start with 13 and drag all the way down to the bottom one. Okay, so you can see it's cell B4 to B13, B4 to B13. Then go to the next one. Let me delete all this. This is going to be in my group B. I'm going to highlight 5 all the way down to 10. This hypothesized mean difference, if you don't put anything in there, it will assume 0. But generally speaking, this is basically what your null hypothesis is. Recall that your null hypothesis basically says that there's no difference between the two groups. And so if there's no difference, that means your difference is 0. So normally it's pretty safe to assume this number you can input a 0 in there. Here's my confidence level. My alpha value is 0.05, which means that I'm operating at a 95% confidence level. That's safe to assume right now, but if you want to change the confidence level or your alpha value, you just input the number here. Your output range, this tells you where your data is actually going to, your data output will appear. I'm going to say let's just have it appear right there. And then I'm going to hit OK. And it spits out all this stuff. Again, let me go over some of the important aspects here. The mean is obviously important here when you report data. You do have the variance, not the standard deviation, although recall that you can actually calculate the standard deviation from the variance. You just take the square root of each of these numbers, because we would usually report data as the mean plus or minus the standard deviation. Now recall that the two-tailed p-value is a more conservative p-value, and so no one's ever going to say you can never use the two-tailed. In fact, when in doubt, you should always use the two-tailed. The one-tailed is only used in certain circumstances, i.e. when one group you know for fact, with absolute certainty for the most part, that you know it's going to be higher or lower than the other group. Okay, so for example, if I knew that A, whatever that was measuring, if I knew that according to data, A was supposed to be higher than B, then I would probably be more justified using the one-tail. Okay, but usually people will just use the two-tail. Okay, so that was the t-test assuming equal variances. What I'm actually going to do now is do the same thing but assume unequal variances. So let's calculate that. And it's pretty much the same thing. Once I'm in data, I click on data analysis. It's this t-test, the second one, unequal variances. And I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. Even though it's already set up here, I'm going to go ahead and delete it just so I can show you again. Variable 1 range, scroll from 13 to 15. Let's get rid of this. Variable 2 range, this 5 down to this 10. I'm going to say hypothesized means difference of 0 because my null hypothesis states that there's no difference between groups generally, and no difference between these two groups means the difference is 0. I'm going to keep a 95% confidence level, ergo the 0.05 alpha value. Let's select the output where I want the data to appear. Let's put it right here, and then I'm going to hit OK. And here's my t-test assuming unequal variances. Again, some of the important data points might be the mean and the variance. From the variance, again, I can calculate the standard deviations by taking the square roots of each of these variances. And again, we also have, and I'm actually going to make this a little wider so you can see what it is, the one-tailed p-value and then also the two-tailed p-value. Some people, whenever they report data in some kind of article or paper, they would also report this t-statistic. But you absolutely are going to have to report the p-value, whichever one you choose, for your given situation, and the confidence level. Okay, so this is how you calculate and do the data analysis for independent t-tests. Let's go to data, which is up here at the top, whoops, and then go to data analysis. Now here were our t-tests, so let's actually scroll up, and it should actually say F-test, to sample for variances. So let's click that, and what you're going to do is, let's first get rid of that. I'm going to input my variable 1 range, so I'm going to start here at 13 and drag all the way down to 15. That's my first variable. Let me get rid of the second one. So variable 2 range is this 5 down to the 10. All right. And my confidence level I want to keep is 95%. So that corresponds to an alpha of 0.05. And then let me pick my output range. Let's just say I want the data to appear right there. All right. And then I just hit OK. All right. Now, what does all of this mean? All right. So here's what I have. I have a mean. Here's my means. So that's something I would normally report. I actually have those down here, right? So my mean is 13.9 and 9.625. I have those here. These are the same values. But the important parts of the f-test really are what are called the f-statistic, or our f-value that comes out, and our f-critical value. Okay, so here is how you determine whether it's equal variances or unequal variances. And again, I go into this in a different video where we talk about more of the theory. But what I do is I compare the f to the f-critical value. If this f value is less than the critical one-tail value, which it is not here, but if the f value on top was less than this 0.3036, then that would be equal variances, okay? So in other words, if this value, this f right here, if that was like 0.1, 0.1 is less than 0.3. So my f would be less than my critical value, therefore that would be equal variances. That is not what we have here. Here my f value is actually greater than my critical value. 0.9 is definitely bigger than 0.3. So in this case, I actually have to reject the null hypothesis that the variances are equal and assume that they are unequal. So even though there's not much of a difference between these corresponding p-values, regardless of whether it's one-tail or two-tail, if I was doing this for the purpose of some kind of paper that was going to be published, I would probably want to be rigorously correct. And to determine which one it is, I would have to do an f-test. And then I would look at the f value and see if it's smaller than or bigger than the critical value. So what I would have to do is compare the f value to the critical value. And if the f value is smaller than the critical value, you have equal variances between your two groups. If the f value, like in this case, is larger than the critical value, then you have unequal variances. And in this case, I would have to use this set of data. The f-test, also know this, is not used for a paired t-test. It is only used, at least in terms of t-test, for the independent t-test. So when you do a paired t-test, which we did in a separate video, you don't ever have to worry about an f-test. And the reason you don't is because what the f-test is doing is it's testing are the variances between the two groups, are they basically, in layman's terms, are they different populations or basically the same population? If the same population would mean equal variances, different population is unequal. Well, that's irrelevant in a paired t-test because these come from the same population. You're measuring the same person before or after. Okay? There's no need for it because it's defined as being the same population. Okay? So no need for an f-test here, only when you do an independent t-test. All right, hopefully this video helped you out. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for future videos and notifications. Thank you very much.